In the heart of China's Taklamakan Desert, where surface temperatures scorch the land at 50 degrees Celsius and sandstorms swallow caravans, something appeared that seems impossible. This is not a mirage. It's not a sunlight trick over distant dunes. This is real. A life-size replica of an American aircraft carrier is standing silently in one of Earth's harshest geographies, over 3,200 kilometers from the nearest ocean. What you're seeing is one of the boldest military test ranges ever constructed. At coordinates 38 degrees, 49.1 minutes north, 87 degrees, 45.2 minutes east in China's Xinjiang region, satellite images have revealed a development that military analysts call a seismic shift in modern warfare. In the ROG area, China didn't build these massive warship replicas for show or propaganda. Their purpose is far more harrowing. Live-fire missile tests targeting replicas of naval vessels. It all began with imagery from commercial satellite firm Maxar Technologies, whose high-resolution photos stunned analysts worldwide. In the deserted stretch of China, nearly identical in scale to the USS Gerald Ford, a replica was laid out. Measuring about 305 meters in length, it features electromagnetic launch rails and an island superstructure positioned with millimeter precision, mimicking the original. But that ship wasn't alone. Nearby stood two replica Harper's Ferry-class destroyers, with silhouettes recognizable even from orbit. These are not crude mock-ups or symbolic structures. Every detail was recreated with care funnels, radar domes, missile systems, even deck equipment spacing. Military observers were left with one burning question. Why would China spend millions and thousands of labor hours to build exact copies of American warships in a remote desert? The answer may have far greater meaning. This is not diplomacy. It's a new kind of global power play, written in missile trails and millimeter-level engineering. At the center, there lies an engineering marvel, unlike anything built on land before. These dead hulls are transformed into mobile targets. Massive curved rails, about 6 meters wide, are laid into the ground. On them, mobile platforms, each roughly 75 meters long, can move, carrying full-scale warship replicas that maneuver as if at sea. In other words, in one of the driest, harshest climates on Earth, Chinese engineers have recreated naval warfare's movements. The ships on rails can accelerate, turn sharply, decelerate, simulating the chaos of a sea battle with astonishing realism. Surrounding these rails are hundreds of sensor towers rising from the sand like a metallic forest. But these aren't mere observation towers. Each is outfitted with radar systems, thermal cameras, telemetry equipment, built to record every millisecond of a missile flight. When a DF-21D missile launches at speeds exceeding 12,000 kilometers per hour, these sensors capture every detail: trajectory, guidance reaction, hit precision, effects of electronic countermeasures. That data doesn't stay in the desert. It's transferred to China's internal defense networks, research centers, and weapons labs. Engineers use the data to make the missiles smarter, faster, deadlier, creating weapons that in a future conflict could decide the fate of entire fleets. At the core of this desert facility beats the heart of China's most feared weapon, the DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, known globally as a carrier killer. This nickname wasn't given lightly. It's a nightmare threat for U.S. naval commanders. With a range exceeding 1,500 kilometers, it can hit moving targets at sea. its maneuverable warhead re-enters the atmosphere at extreme speed, making interception nearly impossible. But that's just the beginning. Alongside the DF-21D, the facility likely tests its deadlier cousin, the DF-26. With a range over 4,000 kilometers, it can threaten U.S. bases in Guam and across the Pacific. These are not ordinary missiles. Thanks to maneuverable warheads, they can alter their trajectories during descent, evading defense systems and locking onto targets with terrifying precision. The science behind them is staggering. A DF-21D warhead re-entering at some 12,000 kilometers per hour, over 1,000 kilometers per second, even without explosives, its kinetic energy could severely damage a warship. But raw power isn't enough. The real challenge is precision, striking a moving naval target from thousands of kilometers away. Through atmospheric drag, countermeasures, and guidance uncertainties. That's where the desert ships come in. Using missile tests against these mobile replicas, China sharpens its targeting algorithms, calibrates sensors, and practices deadly scenarios against a carrier strike group long before any frontline battle. The level of detail in the desert facility reveals not just technical capability, but strategic intent. The replica of the USS Gerald Ford is not only a visual copy, but even mimics its electromagnetic signature. 4 launch rails align exactly with the original. The island structure is placed in the same orientation down to the centimeter. This precision has a clear purpose. First, it trains Chinese radar operators to see what looks like a real American carrier, making no distinction between mock and reality. Second, it enables surgical missile testing. Target a flight deck, neutralize air operations, disrupt command and control, all with surgical strikes. The destroyer replicas are also precise. Radar domes, missile launchers, electronic warfare antennas, every detail mapped. Analysts believe the fidelity goes beyond public sources, implying access to classified materials. Most astonishingly, there is no visible damage in the latest satellite images. The replicas remain pristine. These are not structures riddled with battle scars. They show no signs of past strikes. That suggests a different class of test, not kinetic impact, but radar calibration, trajectory analysis, hit precision trials. The weapon here is not just the missile, it is precision itself. Every rail, sensor tower, missile launch is part of a singular aim, targeting Taiwan. These replicas are not arbitrary targets. They mirror the ships the U.S. might deploy to intervene. The USS Gerald Ford, capable of 270 sorties per day and protected by Easy and Aegis destroyers, becomes the central target. China is simulating the assault before the conflict even begins. From mainland China, DF-21D missiles cover the Taiwan Strait and reach deep into the Western Pacific. The longer-range DF-26 can target far beyond Japan, Guam, and U.S. installations. Together, they shape what strategists call an A2/AD, anti-access/area denial bubble, a lethal zone that American forces must penetrate to reach Taiwan. In a real Taiwan conflict, U.S. aircraft carriers would have to enter this bubble to project air power. And that is precisely where the desert replicas come in. The message is stark. China believes it can target and disable carriers before they can help. This belief may or may not hold true in real war, but the rehearsal is underway. The message drawn in sand is clear. China didn't hide this facility from satellites. It built it in the open. In an era when nearly every military move is tracked from space, such visibility is not accidental. It's a direct, unambiguous message. We can sink your carriers. To Taiwan and to the US, don't rely on American naval supremacy. To its own people, the government is defending national interests. To regional powers, the era of uncontested US sea dominance is waning. This is not war fought with firepower alone. It's war fought with fear. Psychologically, the impact of these revelations may outweigh any missile launch. Each satellite image, think tank report, and Capitol's closed-door briefing amplifies that message. These are more than mere mock-ups in the sand. They are open signals. The world is watching. By choosing the desert, China echoes centuries of warfare. Deserts as proving grounds. From Patton's desert campaigns to modern missile ranges, open terrain, minimal population, unobstructed skies. But China's desert usage goes beyond tradition. Here, the desert is not just a test bed, it replaces the ocean. Missiles fly over sand as though it were sea. China is turning dunes into the new naval battlefield. Yet the desert fights back. Sandstorms can last days, fine dust battering sensitive systems, scorching heat and freezing nights punishing electronics. Against all that, China built a facility that operates year-round. In this hostile domain, land and sea blur. Warfare is being redefined before any shot is fired. The facility is still expanding. By 2024, new sections were identified. We may be witnessing a pivotal moment in naval warfare history. For over 70 years, aircraft carriers have symbolized naval supremacy. Floating airfields, global strike platforms. But China's desert ships directly challenge that foundation. If carriers can be reliably targeted from thousands of kilometers away, what purpose does naval force projection serve? If hypersonic missiles breach defenses, how do you protect them? And if distance no longer guarantees safety, how can fleets operate freely in distant waters? There is no ready answer. China's desert facility hints at a new doctrine, not matching ship counts, but rejecting the paradigm of safe sea power altogether. It's not about parity, it's about disruption, denying the sea to adversaries. A new kind of power is rising, not through mass, but through precision. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. For more videos like this, stay tuned.